Anthony Hartwig here with a Boardman football player profile. We are joined by senior Anthony Price. Anthony, thank you so much for coming on and being with us.
Thank you for having me on here today.
So let's talk about this season, man. I mean, you're a senior, this senior class. We've talked to a handful of your senior teammates. Them especially kind of put their foot in the ground this year and said, we're going to change this program before we leave high school. What's it been like being a part of a locker room that is kind of determined to change the narrative in Boardman football?
It's definitely better wanting to leave the Boardman program better than what we have. I think us seniors are doing a very good standard of setting that and keeping that going.
Last season, we've talked to your seniors. You know that you worked hard, you did all the right things. The process was right, the results weren't there. How much was the conversation like that in the summer, where it's like, hey guys, the process is there. We have to keep trusting ourselves, and we'll hit results this year.
It was definitely the same thing. We definitely questioned our ability because last year we went 1-9, but with Dota putting in this new offense, our wing tee, I think everyone bought into it, and obviously we're exceeding from what we did last year.
All right, week one, you're playing Kenston, a team that beat you last year. You're able to come back and win that game. You're down early. You're able to band together, come back. How much did that win in week one, really propel this team to where they are now?
That definitely set us forward a lot, especially because we were considered the underdogs in that game. I think it was like a 27 that we were supposed to lose. That definitely set us forward, thinking that we could be a good team.
One of the great things about this team is you guys have played so well at home. You've only dropped one home game so far this season. Talk about what makes Boardman special and what makes it easy to win when you're in the friendly confines of Boardman.
Definitely easier, with our fan base. The student section's always loud, always keeping everyone in the game. I think us being home and doing very good at home is a very good thing.
You talked about Coach Doda and kind of the adjustments he made this year and how easy it was to buy in. That doesn't happen without the trust and relationship that you have with the coaching staff. So, talk about that. Talk about what it's been like to be under this coaching staff and how much they've helped you guys kind of grow as football players.
With this coaching staff, I feel like we're all a family. Even though there are coaches, I still feel like they're friends to me. We all get along. We all share very many things. We talk about football, other sports. I feel like they're leaders to us as well.
Results come and go, but one of the things that is apparent about this team is the bond they have and the togetherness that you have as a brotherhood in the locker room. Talk about that, what it's like to be a part of this team and to be part of this football family that you have with the other guys on the roster.
We're all a family on our team. We love our guys, even from the young guys to from the seventh grade up. We are all a family. We make sure that we're all good. Um, you know, I love my guys. I make sure that we're all good.
You talked about the senior class, yourself included, trying to set that standard for this program so it can succeed after you graduate. What are some things that you guys think that you've put in place from a leadership standpoint to be, the hallmarks for what this program can do in the future?
We're definitely trying to set hard work up from freshmen up. We're trying to get guys to stay instead of leaving. We're setting juniors and seniors as we're making them leaders as well, trying to make sure that we have good examples for the next coming classes.
What's it like for you to be a senior and to kind of go through your last year on the football team? What's it been like to deal with the motions that can bring?
It's definitely been hard knowing it's my last year, but I'm really happy I get to do this one last time with all my friends that I've been playing football with for a long time.
Every senior is different. Some seniors let it sink in right away that they're a senior. Some seniors like to kind of save off that reality check until the end of the year. Where are you? I mean, has it hit you yet that you're a senior? Or are you trying to take this year like anything else?
No, I really think it hit me. It didn't really hit me until yesterday. I talked about it and I realized this was my last home game playing at Spartan Stadium.
Man, I hit you yesterday. I like it. We got you
Yeah.
just in time. What's it like going into the week where it is your last home game? It's the last chance you get to play in this stadium unless you get a home playoff game, which is still a possibility. What's it like to kind of go into that when it's the last guaranteed home game that you have?
We're gonna have a great practice the week. We're gonna watch film. We're gonna make sure that we're ready for this game, but we got to make sure we win and keep our home record good.
Film is so important. I'm so glad that you brought that up because nowadays, these athletes, you guys can watch film anywhere with the iPads. You can watch them in your bedroom. You can watch them in the study hall, whatever you want. When's your favorite time to kind of put on the film and try to learn about the team you're going to be playing?
My favorite time is probably after we watch film on the game Saturday evening. I'll try to find film on whatever team we're playing and send it out to the guys so we could all see what they're gonna do.
Now, when you break down like the film you watch, do you think you watch more of yourself and what you're doing, or do you think you watch more of the other team trying to game plan against them?
I definitely try to see what the other team's doing to game plan against them, and then I try to figure out what I can do in that position to make sure we stop a play.
How much do you think you self coach yourself? Like, are you good at watching film of yourself and saying, "Oh, I noticed this. I need to do this a little bit better," or do you think that's something that you rely on the coaching staff for?
I think it's about 50-50. I think the coaches more critique more, but I think I realize myself what I could work on this and make sure that I keep up with it to be a better athlete.
Every Friday night, you get to put on the maroon jersey. You get to represent Boardman. What's that like for you? How proud are you to represent the community and the school?
I'm definitely proud. I've been in Boardman since I was in kindergarten. Always looked up to being on a Friday night, so I'm proud to wear that Spartans across my chest.
Man, Anthony is homegrown in Boardman since kindergarten. I love it. Talk about what it was like for you as a freshman. We'll rewind it 4 years to be on this field and to kind of go into your high school years of football since you were dreaming about it, like you said, since you were a little kid, being on this field. What was it like when you stepped on the field for the first time?
I was definitely nervous to be in front of everybody of Boardman, have the big crowd that we have, but I really looked up to the moment that I was put in.
What's your game day routine? What kind of things get you in that right mental zone?
Definitely, I like to be alone, and then I'll put my AirPods in, listen to music, and then I'll just get focused and watch film.
What's on that playlist with your AirPods in?
It's all over the place. Sometimes it'll be like white girl music. I'll listen to like Rihanna or something. Other times it's like Drake. I'm all over the place with it.
Does it have any rhyme or reason, or is it completely shuffle? Like, do you kind of gradually get from one to the other as the game gets closer, or do you just hit shuffle and whatever pops up,
I hit
pops up?
shuffle and then whatever is on is I get going to.
I love it. What's one song that like whenever it comes on, it'll always get you fired up?
Probably Dreams and Nightmares the first day out.
Yeah, that's I think that's a common answer, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you in the classroom. You, like almost every Boardman athlete that we have interviewed, man, a stellar GPA. What's it like to put so much work into your schoolwork and to be proud that now you're down the stretch and you have a GPA way above 3.5?
I think it's really important to put in like extra into your schoolwork as well because you're a student athlete first. But yeah, I think school is very important as well as being a good athlete on the football field.
3.76 for those of you guys wondering what this man's GPA is. Let's talk about just your favorite subjects. What are some of the ones that you've really loved studying over the years?
It's definitely been math and probably about only math. I liked physics, but it was more math based class. I'm not much of a writer or a reader.
Give me all the numbers, right? And that's no shocker knowing that you hope to follow a career in engineering. You want to be an engineer. Want to talk about kind of what drove you to that path other than your love for math? Is there anything else that kind of drove you to want to be an engineer?
I don't really know because my mom doesn't like math at all, and neither does my dad. So it was just I'm like an
Yeah,
oddball.
you're like the black sheep of the family a little bit,
Yeah.
You're that guy that, I like to do things a little bit differently. So you're not asking your parents for help with homework, right?
No, not at all.
Do you have a favorite branch of math, like one that you enjoy the most?
Calculus. I like calculus a lot.
Perfect for engineering, right?
Yeah.
It's perfect. Do you have a school in mind that you're already trying to go to, or are you keeping your options open?
I'm keeping my options open, but like the best school I would definitely want to go to is the Ohio State University.
Now, there are a lot of branches of engineering. Is there one branch of engineering that kind of interests you the most, like biological or mechanical or electrical?
Definitely mechanical.
When you think about all the doors that kind of career can open up, I mean, engineering, there's a reason some of those engineering schools have some of the highest like average graduate salaries in the country because it opens a lot of jobs up for you. What excites you the most about just that opportunity to to learn a trade and to be able to put yourself in line for a very prosperous future.
It definitely excites me because obviously I talked about I love math, so I think engineering would be good for me. But I also like that once I graduate high school, graduate high school and then go into college. After I graduate there, I'll definitely be making a lot of money.
When you do graduate, what are going to be some of the things you look back on and say that you're really proud of yourself for accomplishing, whether it be on the field, in the classroom, in life? What are some things that you're just so happy that you've been able to do while you're in high school?
Definitely excelling in the classroom, keeping my grades up, but hopefully keeping the Boardman standard up and keeping us strong and setting a foundation for all the young guys, even through the little Spartans, to keep our football team up and going.
Since football is your only sport, man, what are some of the things you do to occupy your time in the winter and spring?
Winter and the spring, I'm either supporting the other sports or I'm in that weight room and keeping my grades in check.
What's your favorite sport to go out and be a part of the student section for?
Definitely basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had any other sport that you kind of wanted to throw your hat in the ring in and see like how good you could be at that sport, is there a sport that kind of drew your attention or one that you think you'd be the best at throwing your hat into?
I used to play basketball in eighth grade, and then I stopped once I got to high school. So I would definitely go play basketball again.
What about is there an oddball sport out there like a pickleball or a billiards or one of those kind of off the wall sports that you think would be fun to get into?
Pickleball. I love playing pickleball. Me and the guys will go play in the park. I love pickleball.
Love it. I love it, man. Let's talk about you off the field. You said you're in the weight room a lot. Is that something that you do kind of not just as a routine to keep yourself in shape, but also kind of a stress reliever to go in the weight room when you need somewhere to get away and try to get away from the stress of life?
It's definitely a stress reliever. I think going in the weight room, putting on music, and just pushing out the way is a good way to get me like off of everything else that's bothering me.
What's your favorite weight room circuit?
It's got to be chest fly.
And then what's your least favorite? The one that you really have to push yourself to do?
Anything legs.
That's common too, man. That's common too. One of the things that we like to do is talk about role models, man. You are a role model as a senior. Guys look up to you as a leader, but you learn from life on how to be a role model. Who are some of the people in your life that you think taught you how to be a leader, taught you how to be a role model?
Definitely my mom and dad. They've helped me grow up to be where I am now. They've shaped me. They've taught me plenty of things. Even coaches through previous years, they've had their fair share of stories that they tell us and helping me become who I am.
All right, my last question for you. We always like to ask one question that's kind of off the wall a little bit, get to know you a little bit off the field. And we've talked about how much you're in the weight room and how much you like to keep yourself in shape. I always like to see the guys to do that. They have to have a guilty pleasure snack or something that they eat, a dessert, something that's a little bit unhealthy, but they love. So what's your guilty pleasure food?
Um, I like honey buns or like nutty bars.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
treat
love
yourself
honey
every now and
buns.
then.
Yeah.
Treat yourself every now and then. Love it. All right. Last question for you. This is the last thing we do with our player profiles each and every time. We like to give the player the chance to take the limelight off themselves. We've been talking about you for so long. I want to give you the chance to talk about the people in your life that support you and that are there for you. So I want to give you the time to give out your shout outs and your thank yous to the people that you think deserve it.
I would like to thank my mom and dad, definitely, my family, my coaching staff, even when I was little. I'd like to thank God, definitely. He's definitely put me where I am right now. And yeah, I'd like to thank Coach Doda as well.
Anthony, we like to thank you so much for taking the time to come join us today. We appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck the rest of your senior year and everything. And we'll see you again real soon.
Thank you.